What's going on, guys? Alex here with TFL Bike. This is the all-new Honda Trail 125 or CT125. Today we're going to go through all the features of it, take it on a ride. Let's get right into it. You could call this bike a lot of different things. You could call it a mini moto, you could call it an old school scooter, you could call it a dual sport kind of thing. Really what this bike is going to excel at is riding around the city, taking you from place to place as you're running errands, and occasionally hitting some dirt trails on the way home, getting lost along the way. Now, if you've been watching TFL Bike from the beginning, one of our earliest projects was restoring two of these. The original trails came out in the 60s. The ones we pulled out of David's neighbor's barn up at the Happy Yak Ranch, those were trail 90s from the 70s, and this is an all new take on it. So it uses a 124.9cc air-cooled single, basically the same motor out of the old Grom. The new Grom is a new motor, but this is also the same motor in the C125, the Super Cub. And the Monkey as well. It's mated to a 4-speed semi-automatic transmission, so you have no clutch up on the handlebar, but you shift through the gears. All the way down is neutral, and then one up for first, second, third, and fourth. And you also have the heel shifter on the back, so you have the option of using your toe or heel to shift. Now, this motor only makes 8.7 horsepower and 8.1 foot-pounds of torque in the Trail 125, so it's not a powerful motor, but that is not at all what this bike is about. Well, guys, I've been looking for a place with some dirt like that for about an hour now, and I don't think it's gonna happen. So I'm gonna give up looking. Let's go on a city ride. Here we go, heading downtown. Small bikes like this are so much fun because you can ride them flat out and you're not breaking any laws. Just full twist of the throttle. This heel shifter is really fun to use. I felt the same way when we had the Super Cub at the office last year. It's just something different, and a lot of times I end up putting my toe back there and clicking down for every shift. So down on the back for shifting up, and then down on the front for shifting down. Coming down, downshifting like that is when I wish I had a clutch, because the rear wheel does seem to slide out a little bit. You can't really feather it with a clutch since there is none. Now, even though this is a small motor that only makes 8.7 horsepower, it has enough power to keep up with traffic, slower traffic that is. I would say 40 to 50 miles an hour is where this bike is happiest. I'm in 4th gear right now and it's starting to ring out a little bit going 45. So 40 miles an hour is really the sweet spot, but you can go faster if you need to. The design of the Trail 125 is killer. It really stands out. Online, it looks like a darker red, but here in person, it really pops. This is a bright Honda red. You've got the old school Honda Motors logo up here on either side, Honda script down there, and some Trail 125 badging. And if you look closely, there's actually a little claw going through there, so cool little detail. But yeah, styling is super rad. You have this massive rear cargo rack on the back. This is a 1-passenger bike, so not going to be able to take someone along with you because of this rack right here. You do have some threaded holes in here for accessories, but if I own this bike, I would immediately put some sort of basket or cargo rack on here. That is just a massive platform. It can hold 44 pounds. And yeah, that is a super easy way to, get your groceries home from the store without having to lug it all in a backpack. Just like the old trail bikes back in the day, the front fender is actually metal, and you have this crossbar that goes through just like the old bikes. On the side, you can see the exhaust here. I think that this exhaust heat shield is really cool looking, done in the silver with all these holes in it. Super cool look. You can see some of these foot protectors down here are done in gloss black. The wheels are matte black as well, so all in all, pretty good look between the red bike with some of the silver bits, the silver engine, and then the black frame, handlebars, headlight housing. It's a pretty good look. Down here on the bottom, you can see the skid plate, which comes from the factory. That's doing a nice job protecting the engine and also the tiny little exhaust that comes out the bottom of it. So yeah, ready to do some off-roading right from the factory. If you're gonna go serious though, I'd probably put something a little beefier on because this is not the thickest piece in the world. You have LED turn signals both front and rear, which is cool. Nice to see the LED headlight in combination with LED turn signals on such a retro styled bike. And also I really like the design of them. They're these big, beefy square indicators and they look like a mix of old school and new school. Here's a look at the dash. It's pretty similar to what comes on the Monkey, except it has a black trim ring around it and it doesn't blink at you when you turn it on. But yeah, pretty good look. White text on a black background. Not the brightest thing in the world, a little bit difficult to see in direct sunlight, but you do have a fuel gauge up top, which I definitely appreciate. I always like to give you guys an idea of how I fit on the bike. I'm 5'10" for reference. The seat height on this is 31.5 inches, so it's actually not too low for, you know, how small this bike is. 259 pounds wet, holds 1.4 gallons of fuel, so anybody could ride this. It's super easy and you never feel like you're out of control with too much weight or anything. It's really, really manageable, and I do like that you sit up pretty high too. There's an idea of where my feet sit. This is where this bike really excels, guys, is quick trips in the city. You just need to be able to move from light to light, and this does it perfectly. And I really think a bigger motorcycle makes it harder in a city because you have to find a place to park it. You have to maneuver in tight spots sometimes, and with something this light, it's just so easy. Here's why this is so awesome. I could just pull a little U-turn here because I passed where I wanted to go. Super easy to do. And I want to hit up this juice bar over here and grab a juice to keep me fueled up. And parking down here in a car is nearly impossible, but on this, boom, ready to go. Good to leave it there for just half a minute while I go grab a juice. Really easy to just jet out of your house on, ride down the road, pull over, and on my MT-09 or my KTM, they're just bigger bikes and I don't feel like I can do that. And it looks like the juice bar was trying to go to his clothes. No! Alright, that's alright, I'll find something else. I'm gonna take the helmet off so people don't think I'm crazy though. Be right back. I'm eating my fruit right here and someone's over there taking pictures of the Trail 125. Pretty cool. People love it. People absolutely love this bike. As far as brakes go, you're looking at a 220 millimeter disc up front. The front wheel does have ABS. The rear wheel does not have ABS. That is a 190 millimeter disc, single piston caliper. And yeah, I think that's a good combo. You have ABS for when you might want it on the street, but you can still lock up the rear in the dirt and have a little fun sliding around. And ABS is really the only tech on this motorcycle. You have ABS and you have an electronic dashboard and that's about it. No traction control, no wheelie control. You don't need any of that on a bike like this. And that's part of what makes this bike so fun, is that it's just so simple. You can see the controls up here are as simple as it gets. Nothing you don't really need. You have ABS, which can definitely help you out, get you out of a sticky situation. But other than that, you're pretty much on your own. And then as far as suspension goes up front, you have some really tiny 27 millimeter in diameter forks. I really like how they have this rubber boot on here, hiding where it compresses, just like the old school trails. And then in the rear, dual shocks, done in all black. As you can see, 3.9 inches of travel up front and 3.4 inches of suspension travel in the rear. Here you can see the air box. The intake is actually up here under the rack, which is interesting. Hopefully that'll protect it if you're actually taking this thing out in some mud. Down here under the air box, we have the key slot, and that releases the seat, so I can fold the seat forward just like that. That's how you access your gas cap right there, and also there's this little Allen key. So if we pull the Allen key out, that is how you open up the toolbox. Turn the Allen key and then pop it open. Let's see what we got inside. Just some paperwork here, the manual, and then we've actually got a helmet lock cable right there. So if you want to lock your helmet up, you can use that, and a couple of tools. And when I say couple of tools, I really mean a couple. You have a reversible screwdriver and a fuse puller, no wrenches or anything like that. That's it. But nevertheless, nice to see that you do have the spot to put tools on the side of the bike, so you could throw whatever you want in there. And any bike that you have the potential to take off-road, it's nice to be able to carry tools with you directly on the bike in case anything goes wrong. Pretty cool here on the side of the bike. I have the trail resting on the side stand right now, but there's also a center stand if that's what you desire. You can pop it up on there, have the bike upright, maybe work on your chain, lubing your chain up. So this is about the only time in my life I have been happy for traffic. My GPS put me on the freeway, but that's okay. We're in traffic, it'll work. 2 complaints. One is the turn signal switch is really not great. That time it worked, but a lot of times when you push it in, it just, like that time, it just doesn't want to go off, and you have to hit it a few times dead center and with a lot of force to get it to go off. Not sure if that's an issue just with this specific bike or if all the trails are like that, but it was so bad yesterday to the point where I didn't even really want to use my turn signals, which is never great. So if that's a problem with all the trails, Honda needs to fix that. The other thing is the downshifting. The back tire just skidded, and you know, that's obviously due to the semi-automatic transmission. I don't necessarily wish it had a clutch. That would help, and you know, you'd be able to smooth things out, but that kind of defeats the purpose. The fun of this is that, you know, you can bang through the gears with your heel, and it's got that retro look and that retro feel, which the semi-automatic transmission kind of gives you that feeling. And also, I know you need a motorcycle endorsement in most places, or probably all states, to ride this. But you know, it's good for beginners because one less thing to worry about. The main reason you're going to buy this is for the look. Everyone loves it. You get tons of stares when you're riding this. People just want to talk to you about it. So if you like having a conversation starter and you want something unique and cool that people are just curious about, this is it. It's got an awesome look, and people who don't ride motorcycles think so, and I think so as well. The Trail 125 is all about style. It's how you look on the thing, and for a lot of you it'll probably bring back a lot of memories if you've owned one of these back in the day. There's really no competition for this bike. No one else is making anything like this. So if this is something you're into, this is really your only option, and it's really affordable too. $3,900 for this right here. There's no options. All of them will come with ABS, and I think that's a great deal. This gets so much attention out on the road. I took it to dinner last night, and in the first like 3 minutes I was out with the bike, I was stopped multiple times. People wanted to know what it was, how much it costs. People are really interested in this, and for good reason. I think it's super fun to ride around, and you can take it anywhere. You don't need a lot of power to have fun. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to head on over to tflbike.com so you don't miss any stories in the motorcycle world. Catch you in the next one.